Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as we like to say here at Shady Acres Woodshop, howdy. A while back, a friend of the channel, Valerie, contacted me and said that she had some wood for me and she'd like to stop by with it. Well, that's quite a favor from her. She lives 3 hours away, but she showed up the other day with a pickup load of wood, and here it is. She brought me maple, spalted maple, paper birch, cherry, and sycamore. And I could not be more excited to tear into some of this stuff. I have selected a piece for today's project, and I'll show you that next. Thank you, Valerie. Huge favor. Valerie also brought along some samples of her work, and I thought my first piece was going to be sycamore based on the piece that she showed me that she had turned some wonderful grain in there. But these seem to be just a little too wet for that yet, so that'll be a few months probably before I get to the sycamore. But today I've selected a piece of spalted maple. So stand by and I'll show you that. This is the piece I've selected. I'm going to turn a bowl out of it. It's about 11 inches by 11 inches by 8 inches tall at this point. It is going to have a natural edge, so I'm going to mount this end to the chuck on a woodworm screw. But I think I'm going to cut about 1.5 inches off of here, something like that. There's some pretty good sized cracks going through here. I was going to just chance it, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to take this to the bandsaw, cut about 1.5 inches off. It'd be a pretty deep, odd shaped bowl anyway. I don't mind odd shaped, but I'm worried about these cracks. So I will do that and drill a hole in here, and we'll get it mounted up on the lathe. I'm also going to have to waste away a little of the bottom of this because the pith is present. So there's a crack running all the way up and down through the pith. I'm going to have to take off probably a good 1/2 inch off the bottom, but that's okay. It's not flat anyway. Okay. I don't know how well balanced we are. Not very, I think. Yeah, this side here is quite a bit heavier. There's a lot of wood missing over here that isn't missing over here. So we probably won't be turning very fast. Let me get my mask and face shield on and sharpen up a bowl gouge, and we'll get to turning. Gonna be turning at about 500 RPM. I don't have a particular design in mind at the moment. We'll just go with the flow. Not sure what I'm going to do when I get to this branch here. I'd like to save it, but I just don't know if it's possible. And I see the pith is still in here, so I'm going to have to go a little deeper on the bottom. I better take care of that first. And I'm also going to sharpen up. This is some hard wood. It's harder than it looks. And these aren't the highest quality gouges. Okay, I think that got it. So I'm going to remove this little nub so that I can put my tenon in there. Yeah, I'm afraid we're going to lose that whole branch, but that was kind of expected. Well, I guess I'm deciding on kind of a nicely rounded bowl, round all the way up. I think that's where I'm at right now. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to have to sharpen up again. This is still my starter set of wood turning tools that I've been using for, I don't know, 5 years, I guess. Benjamin's Best from Penn State Industries. They've been really good. You do have to sharpen often, but once it's sharp, it does a nice job. I've never had any problems with breaking or bending or anything like that. But they just don't stay sharp. It's not a high quality steel. So let me sharpen up and I'll be right back. Okay, I got it up to 600 RPM. Better put my face mask down if it's going to do any good. Not sure if that shows, but that's a nice natural indentation there and over here as well. Well, I never did get my tenon on there, did I? Just putting the dovetail on there. Well, I need to make a few smoothing cuts and then we'll be ready for sanding. I'm anxious to get going on the top side to see what we're going to end up with these big hollows that we have on each side. Pretty cool. So stand by for sanding. I'm starting at 80 grit. I'll work up through 400 grit. I don't think I'm going to put a finish on before I turn it around. I typically do, but I don't always, and I don't think I'm going to this time because I'm going to have pretty good access. So I will work at this. It's probably going to take me a good hour, 80 through 400, and I'll be back. All right, let's see if we can get this off of here. I'm thinking this is going to be pretty tight. I might have to put, oh yeah. I might have to put gloves on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Got it. I sanded up through 400. The finish is going to go on later when I do the inside. And as always, I just tighten this a little bit. It's just the old man in me, I think. Isn't something you'd need to do. And then I like to drive that tenon into the chuck with the live center, so I know I've got a good centered, good solid seat, and I can't wait to tear into this thing. So tear into it we shall. That's next, as soon as I get my mask and face shield on and my sharp 5/8 inch bowl gouge. Okay, we're going to be turning at 880 RPM. Got some nice spalting going on, but I'm afraid I'm gonna have to do without my tailstock support because I can't get in there and get the walls down, and they're way too thick. And I need to bring this down to where I get into this natural shape. Need to get down in here. So tailstock support is going away. Well, I've done a couple of things here. I noticed this crack. I noticed it before, but I thought it wasn't too bad. But it has opened up a little bit, so I added some CA and pushed some wood chips into it. So I think it'll probably be okay. And the other thing I did was a rookie mistake. I forgot how deep this bowl is. It's about 6 inches deep, so I'm quite a ways away from the chuck. And I really should have used my larger chuck jaws. So this only has a 2-inch tenon on it. And I should have gone with the 3-inch tenon because I'm getting some vibration, which probably didn't help that crack any. So I don't think all is lost. I'm just going to have to take it easy with my cuts. Take a little longer, but we'll get it done. Coming along. Well, I discovered a second crack opposite the first one right here. So I did the same thing with that, and I refilled the first one as well because I still have to get these walls thinner. So I will keep working on that. I might slow the speed of the lathe down just a little bit, try and keep the vibration down. Slowed it down to 740 RPM. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the sides. Sure, I have a long ways to go on the bottom, but can't be too careful. Yeah, got about 1.25 inches down there. Sides about 3/16. I changed to a different tool vest. Get in there a little closer to that corner. I'm just really taking it easy because that's a sharp little sucker coming around there. I think we're just about there. Well, I'm getting ready to scrape here, and I thought I'd show you something. I'm never sure of who's watching my videos, what level of experience they have, or even what age they might be, how proficient they are with sharpening. This is my 1.5 inch negative rake scraper. And you don't always have to sharpen these. All you have to do is raise an edge. Just raise a burr on here. And in order to save steel, what I like to do is take a round screwdriver, and all you have to do is get up against that edge and just apply a little pressure, and you can raise a real nice edge with that. Yep. Real nice. And it just takes a couple of strokes, maybe just one stroke. Just go like that. You don't even have to follow this whole bevel, you just need it right under that edge. That's it. That's all it takes. So if you already knew that, forgive me. If you didn't know, then you learned something. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to scrape in here a little bit. I'm just trying to remove any high spots, and I believe I've done it. Oh, I like that spalting in there. I don't like that right there, kind of a little punky spot. I'm going to scrape across the bottom a little bit more, see if I can get that to go away. Probably just make it worse. I'm not applying much pressure at all, just barely. And it's still there, but I did smooth it out quite a bit. It's just going to be there, that's all. It's a little punky spot. So let me get cleaned up around here a little bit and we'll start sanding. I'm starting at 80 grit. I'll work up through 400 and I'll bring you back when it's time to put some finish on here. I really like the spalting on this piece. That's really what this whole piece is all about, I guess, is the spalting. It's not a particularly interesting design, just letting the wood do the talking here. And I'm using Howard Feed and Wax again. I've really come to like it quite a bit. It's trouble-free, it lasts, it leaves a nice sheen, not a high shine, won't do that, and it feels good when you handle it. So I'll finish putting the finish on, and I'll bring you back when it's dry and buff. Time to turn it around and take that tenon off. Won't be long now. Okay, let's get that tenon off of there so we can put this thing to use. I'm hoping this isn't too deep, that it'll hit my headstock when I try and mount it up. And a piece of non-slip cloth and the bowl. I still have my hole there for registration. About 600 RPM. Got good clearance. I like to leave this little raised area when I can. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I think it's okay. See if I can smooth it out just a touch. I very seldom decorate the bottom of my bowls, but I'm going to take this 1/4-inch spindle gouge and just cut a groove right where the raised area here meets the bottom. Just a small groove. Okay. Now I might have just a little too much pressure on here because it's kind of splitting out my remainder of the tenon there. So I'm going to back off just a touch. I wish I hadn't gone quite so tight as I did. And then we're going to take this 3/8-inch bowl gouge and we'll slow the speed down around 300 RPM. And just continue. Yeah, see, that's just about gone already. So now I'm going to apply pressure to my left towards the headstock with the bevel of the gouge. And because I think that's going to break off prematurely, I'm being real careful. I've got my left hand on the switch, and there we go. That might have been just a tad late on my part. Hope I didn't do any damage. It doesn't look like it. No, we're good. Got lucky. So now I'll just sand up this little 2-inch area over here on the workbench. Well, there it is. One spalted maple bowl in the books. Just has some real nice spalting in there. I think it turned out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. That may look like a crack, but it's not. It's just spalting all the way. Just a straight line of spalting. If you like this video, thumbs up please. I'd appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much. I truly appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider becoming one. I put out regular videos, about one a week, and I'd like to keep in touch. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.